Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crypto Profit back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Vechain or VET. So right now we have seen Vechain do a fairly good looking 24-hour period of a 5.8% increase. I do think we are going to continue to see Vechain do fairly well, and I think I've talked about this quite a bit on this channel, so you guys should know by now that I am a big believer in what Vechain has to offer. So if you guys want to stay up to date with Vechain as well as so many other altcoins on the channel, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. If we take a look at the last week alone, we do see about a 20% decrease, and the last month being about a 36% decrease. So it's nice to finally see some little bit of recovery in the last 24 hours, pushing our way closer and closer to about an 8-cent price point. We actually saw it go above 8 cents for just a second here, June 28th at 4:15 a.m., and now we're right back to that 0.0783. So I think we are going to continue to see Vechain kind of stabilize around the 7 to 8 cent price range going into the end of June. For my price predictions on July and 2021, you'll just have to stay up to date until the end of the video today. We're going to talk a little bit more about where I think Vechain is going to move to and when I think we're going to see that big eruption that I do think is going to come for so many altcoins, specifically Vechain included. I do want to talk about this $5 billion market cap because that is still a fairly large market cap for really what's been going on really in the market recently. If we take a look at the market altogether, if we go to all the prices, we can see Bitcoin's barely above 34,000. When Bitcoin struggles, rest of the altcoins obviously are going to struggle as well. We see Ethereum though up to 8% right now, above $2,000. Cardano at $1.32. But if we go all the way down to Vechain, it's actually still above Tron. It's above Monero. It's above EOS. It's above Shiba Inu. Obviously, it's right below Internet Computer, which is pretty surprising that Internet Computer is still above Vechain. I do think that's going to change within the next couple of weeks. I think we could actually even push closer to Stellar Lumens and maybe even, things like Wrapped Bitcoin or even Polygon. Realistically, though, I'm just going to be hoping for Vechain to pass Internet Computer in the upcoming weeks because that is going to be a big one for us to really kind of jump past, as Internet Computer is definitely not as solid of a project, I would say, as Vechain at this point in time, just because of all the huge partnerships that Vechain has already taken advantage of. It's been around since 2015. It's doing big things, and it has a big utility, really suitcase of things that it can do. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second, though. So jumping back into the Vechain tweet, it talks about 2 years since we had this amazing partnership with Walmart. The case positioned Vechain at the forefront of blockchain, keeping an excellent example of blockchain applied in the retail industry. 18 million of TXs is a starting point. So that's a lot of transactions, obviously. 18 million, definitely a starting point for Vechain and Walmart as a partnership. And I think obviously this kind of success is going to make new partnerships and, make more companies want to partner with Vechain. And that's exactly what we've been seeing with new partnerships coming, just recently. And we've talked about those as well. But I do want to talk about Xinhao News. So the biggest and most influential media organization in China featured VTrust on their official website. As of this post, the original article has gained over 1 million reads. Below is the translated article for the Vechain community. We're not going to jump straight into it, but it is a great thing to see. Really, China continuing to really embrace Vechain as a whole, the foundation, the coin, the idea, the ideology. So I think we are going to continue to see some great things taking place. Obviously, having China's support is not a bad thing when you are based in China. So we have, with recent success of VTrust, it's worth mentioning that Vechain has been the infrastructural technology behind various global blockchain initiatives. For example, that's DNV. They use VET to develop My Story and MyCare, and they have more upcoming soon. So I think this is a big deal to really kind of jump into. I think you should read a little bit more into this. A lot of people haven't really talked about what's coming in the future, and they continue to talk about what's coming in the future in their tweets. And I think it's a big thing to really jump into that. Jumping into the next one, we see what Vechain is offering are answers to different level of developers. Level 0 being public blockchain, really blockchain tech, open source, and you can build whatever you want to build with loads of cool features like MPP, MTT, controllable TXs, life cycle, TX's dependency, and more. Obviously, there's so much potential behind what Sunny Liu and Vechain is doing. If you guys don't know, Sunny Liu is obviously the CEO of Vechain. If we jump into the next one, this was by Eisenrich. He always tweets some great things out about Vechain, some possibilities as well as speculation, as well as partnerships, and just big things to note. So here we have Lindstrom Group has adopted DNV MyCare certified laundries, ensuring really the required safety level in workwear management. So you can actually read more about that. We're not going to read too much into that right now, and you're not going to be able to read this article most likely. But if you can pause it and you can read it yourself if you'd like to. We're going to jump to the next one, though. Like I said, Vechain and the case study Health and Government Innovation. Leading up to the third anniversary of the mainnet on June 30th, Vechain catalogs some of their past achievements in the field of health and safety. So they do have some pictures here. Like I said, more stuff you can read into if you'd like. It's going to be a little bit harder to read as it is a little bit smaller print there, but there's just so much positivity going on around Vechain, and I think we're still bullish on some of this big news and just more talk about Vechain's, partnerships and big things coming, as well as, anniversaries taking place. So one thing to note, I want to say, Vechain's been around since 2015, has so many different solutions and use cases. This is a coin that will last past any kind of bear market, in my opinion. It will last past any kind of market in general. I think this is, one of those coins that is involved in too much at this point in time to ever really fail. And I think because of that, you're going to have a safe investment. It may not be, a 100x overnight, may not be a 100x in a year even, but we will see, positive growth for the most part year over year, unless we're in a very, very solid, bear market. And I think this year we are going to get back to a solid, stage of Vechain doing very, very well. So let's jump back to that price chart real quick, give it a quick refresh, see where we're at right now. We are at that 7.83 cents, a 6.6% increase. We are kind of jumping right back up now, hopefully getting past that 8-cent price point. I do think all of this really short-term movement is not going to be very important for our long-term, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. So a lot of us do assume we are still in that manipulation FUD or accumulation stage, and a lot of us were hoping that we are still following that Wyckoff event and would see a massive increase in the upcoming days or really weeks ahead. I hate to say it, we have too much money sitting out on the sidelines in DAI, stable coins, or USDC, USDT. I do think we are going to have to see another dip below Bitcoin going below 30K. I think specifically we could even see it drop all the way down to 25K possibly. I do think this dip is coming. I think it's going to take place, and I think after that dip we will be better for it. And I think a lot of people holding through that dip, that's perfectly fine. I'm holding through it. I'm also took some out, and I will say transparently, I think taking some out and holding some in is probably the best way to do it. Doing a little bit of 50-50, it kind of ties in with DCA, so dollar cost averaging in during these dips and really market crashes. So it's definitely the safest way to go about it, in my opinion. Obviously, do what you guys want to do, as I am not a financial advisor, so always do your own research before investing. But it's just one of those things where Vechain specifically is going to be a coin that really does thrive when it comes back, when that market does come back. And I think September we may see the bottom of crypto this year. We may have already saw it. A lot of people speculating different things. Either way, late in this year, either way, I think we are going to see Vechain specifically start to push back up. I think, late July, we may see a very small push close to that 9 to 10 cent range. But then I do think we dip back down, maybe September being our bottom, in my opinion. And if that does take place, we will see Vechain specifically by the end of the year starting to push back up to its previous all-time high, around that 27 to 28 cent price point that we once saw back in April 16th. So we'll see what does take place. We'll continue to keep you guys up to date with price predictions as well as updates going on Vechain news, being still very, very bullish on Vechain. A lot of this news is not short-term bullishness. It's all about the long-term bullishness of what Vechain is doing and offering. So I think by the end of the year, we could still see that $1 to $2 price point that I've been talking about now for some time. So $1 to $2 by the end of really by the end of the year or the bull market, I think is definitely a possibility. So we'll keep you guys up to date. Like I said, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video if you guys want to stay up to date with price predictions and obviously any updates according to or relating to Vechain or like I said, any altcoins in general. So thank you guys again. I'll see you in the next one.